I thought I should go somewhere abroad for my bachelor's degree. I didn't have the money for it. I stayed in Bulgaria. I hated it. I knew that it's not gonna be that good. I studied economy, international economic relations, and it was supposed to be amazing in the best economic university in Bulgaria, the best specialty. Then it turned out that it's much worse than I thought it's gonna be. So I was super unhappy with this. I wanted to go somewhere abroad for my master's. Then I started creating this amazing bubble of people I love, things that I do that I love, and this made me feel better in Bulgaria, because I wasn't feeling bad as a Bulgarian. I was just feeling very confused as a human being. So I thought maybe Bulgaria was part of this problem, because all of my schoolmates, they went to study in France, because I studied in the French language high school. I stayed in Bulgaria, and I thought that, the university sucks, maybe Bulgaria sucks too. This is what you hear from all over, by the way. We're very negative. Bulgaria is the worst place on earth. You look at everyone in the West, look at Germany. This is the most Bulgarian thing, look at Germany. So I feel good as a Bulgarian because I found my place in Bulgaria. Nature, I'm all about nature. So I'm all about mountains, I'm all about fresh air. And the thing about people that I like, they're really welcoming and they're really willing to help in general. Even if you're a Bulgarian or not, Bulgarians in smaller villages and towns don't speak English, but still they do their best to help you by using sign language and speaking loudly in Bulgarian, or yeah, they try. And they're friendly and they're good in general, I think. Yeah, this complaining that Bulgaria sucks because Bulgaria doesn't suck. Because in general, this is not only here, it's a Balkan thing. We like to say that we have endless problems, that it's not that bad. And if you make a comparison between nowadays and 10 years ago, things are much, much better. And the thing I don't like is the constant complaining and pessimism, general pessimism. By my own everyday experiences, when I was a student, I studied in the heart of the city in high school, but I used to live in those ugly neighborhoods, communist neighborhoods, and this meant that I needed to use at least 1 or 2 buses to get to school or go back home. And winters in Bulgaria are cold. I hate cold, and I used to go back home after school at, let's say, my classes ended at 7:30, so I was trying to go home after classes, and I needed to wait for the bus for more than 50 minutes in the -15 weather. The bus was not arriving. There were hundreds of people on the bus stop with me, and then the bus finally arrives, and then it's super crowded. You cannot get in. You need to wait for the next bus. I've been crying on the bus stops because of the fact that I was very cold and very miserable, and I needed to wait for the bus. This doesn't happen that much. This doesn't happen at all nowadays. EU is funding, and earlier Bulgaria is the most corrupted country in the European Union, which is another not so cool thing about Bulgaria. But still, money is being used for non-corruption purposes as well, and this is obvious. The roads are better, although you saw they're not the best, but they're much better. The public transport in Sofia is okay. The buildings are clean. This basic thing, the environment is better. Maybe I'm that optimistic because, again, I've created a perfect life, and I can honestly say that I'm living a very happy life. And of course, if it's easy for you to be here and you have no problem with finding a job or paying your bills, you are happier. Yeah, but if you're an elderly person, this is a huge problem. And thank God I'm still young, but my grandmother's pension, my grandmother has been working as a nurse during her whole life, and even after pension, she has more than 40 years of experience, professional one, and her pension is 135 leva, which is 70 euros, and this is absurd. And she lives in Sofia, and as I told you, Sofia is the most expensive city, so you cannot live with this. And thank God my grandfather, being in the army, gets the best possible pension, which is more than 900 leva, which is more than 500 euro, which is good, which is about 500 euros. So they cope. My mother lives with them, so she helps too. My aunt helps too financially. But if you are not that lucky, if your children cannot help you, if you have no children, you cannot live with this money. It's just simply impossible.
Yeah.
And you know, it's not about going to an excursion or a trip somewhere. Elderly people all over Europe travel. Bulgarian elderly people don't travel. They don't have money for this. This is one of the bad things. Angela Merkel? Really? Really? But yeah, well, opportunities. When you're coming from a country as Bulgaria, Bulgaria is one of the very few countries that is a net receiver of funds, so we give less to the EU than we get. It's great. It's great for us. Yeah, we need to fix things. You know, economically, we're not there, so we get the money to get there. So yeah, it means opportunities, and it means a positive change, because yeah, for 10 years, 11 already, we've been seeing the change. And it is interesting that it's so obvious, even though, you know, when you're used to something and you don't see the changes happening that much, the changes are so many and so obvious that you feel it. Because, you know, when you grow up with your sister and she's gaining weight or losing weight, you don't really notice it that much because you're seeing her every day. It's the same with the city, and still those changes are so big that you just cannot avoid seeing them. I've never thought about what I don't like, really. The fact that the structure is super complicated. Council of European Union, European Council, Council of Europe. 3 different things. One of them is not within the European Union at all. So this is difficult to remember. If you live in a big city, you're a fan. If you don't live in a big city, you don't care, I would say. If you live in a village that's, you know, forgotten by the world, forgotten by the European Union, why would you care? Still, there is this thing you probably have felt or understood or heard. This is related to communism too. Love-hate relationship with Russia. So Russia is just on the opposite side of the European Union. So there are those ideas of an Eurasian Union, which means that, you know, we're gonna reconstruct the USSR once again. And some people are fans of the idea, which means they hate the European Union. Let's say 80% of young people, I don't have statistics, but my general feeling is that 80% of young people are fans of the European Union, about how things are working out, and the other 20 will tell you that Putin is our god and we should worship him. So, you know, Angela Merkel fans and Putin fans.